firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
continue to take pride and learn from ACHA Mahan's leadership today. Years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree here, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
Welcome inside Arrington Ice Arena. Thursday night hockey is back in Michigan as we get set for round number 2 between Michigan-Dearborn and your Adrian College Bulldogs. Hello everyone, my name is Alex Herman, joined alongside as always by the great Calvin Keys. These two teams faced off earlier this week. Happy to be back here in Adrian. Big game here tonight as the Bulldogs the other day came out to a big 8-2 win over their divisional rivals. You were fortunate enough to travel with that one. It was a heated battle throughout the whole way. Sort of a slow start for the Bulldogs at first. They got scored on early, and then they were able to respond. What did you see after that?
Yeah, I think for starters, it was a little bit of a different look for the Bulldogs in their last game earlier this week on Tuesday night, because Noah DeCotney's was under the weather, so he didn't start net. We saw the freshman Peyton Traska. Traska played well in net, saving 19 of 21, but it was a shaky start with a long point shot with screens and maybe a little bit of a redirection. Snuck in about 2.5 minutes in for Michigan-Dearborn. They took the lead on their home ice in front of their home crowd, and then the Bulldogs were able to tie it up on the power play a few minutes later, but we came out of the first period of that contest with the score tied at 1-1, and the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines out shooting the Bulldogs. So I think for Adrian College, the good news is they came out after that, and their relentless, consistent, smothering forecheck really paid dividends, and their skill just revealed itself in the final 8-2 scoreline. But I think the key for them today, and we'll talk about it more in a second, is getting a strong start. They'll have DeCotney's back in net, but I think not giving Michigan-Dearborn any sort of daylight and just coming out and playing hard-nosed hockey right from the get-go.
Absolutely, and as that game went on, we saw a better result for the Bulldogs. In the second period, they scored 3 straight goals, and then a couple more in the third period. Sebastian Smith was actually able to put up a hat trick and one of the best goals that we've seen back-to-back years on the highlight reel. You might see it on ESPN. Hit the Michigan in Michigan. How about that?
Yeah, Michigan goals are becoming more and more commonplace these days, Herm. And lots of guys are showing they have the skills and the capability to do it. I think we saw in the NHL 2 Michigan goals scored on the same night in 2 separate games. So it's becoming more common. This Michigan goal was unique because for Sebastian Smith, this was a goal with the Michigan move that completed a hat trick. It was his 3rd goal of the game, so that makes it special. And then also doing it against Michigan, albeit Michigan-Dearborn, is kind of a unique twist as well. And, man, he's so clean with that quick scoop up of the puck and tucking it home. Had a guy on either side of him, opponent on either side of him. Goaltender tried to get his glove up in time, but he just did it so quickly. Everyone was expecting it, but he was still able to pull it off because of just how talented he is with those type of moves.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned earlier, Peyton Traska got the win on Tuesday night in the 8-2 victory. He stopped 19 out of 21. It was his first game started since November the 17th against Davenport University, where he won 7-1. So good for the freshman to get some time. It's Noah DeCotney's net here this evening from Arrington Ice Arena. Should be an exciting one. And what else you got for us here?
Yeah, let's take a look at my keys to the game for this contest. We've got one for both squad. I think for the Adrian College Bulldogs, the key, as we already mentioned a little bit, is to have a strong start today. I think, we talked about Michigan-Dearborn got the first goal on the board. After that, it was 8 unanswered for Adrian College. But I think coming out and sticking to your identity right from the start, I think a couple of times in this new semester we've seen a little bit of sluggish starts out of the gate from the Bulldogs. Come out hot, come out firing, lay a big hit on your first shift, get the pucks deep, and just force Michigan-Dearborn to play in their own end. On the other side of things, when we talk about this Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines team, they're unranked. Adrian's number 2 in the country. This is a big rivalry, but a game that Adrian's heavily favored in. So for the Wolverines, in order to get a win here tonight, they're going to have to play a full 60. We saw a great first 20 minutes, but then they were kind of worn down by this relentless Adrian offensive approach, and it made it difficult for them to hang with the Bulldogs for the entirety of the contest, which is ultimately the name of the game.
Apply consistent pressure is the name of the game in this evening's contest. We'll take a look as well at the starting lineups. Up front for the Bulldogs, starting, it's going to be the first line of Sebastian Smith, Matteo DiGiulio, Dylan Gajewski, and on the backhand, Sheldon Nolan and Brody Thornton will be that first line pair. And as we mentioned, Noah DeCotney's getting the start as well. And across the blue line, we'll take a look at the roster for the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines.
And before we move on to the Wolverines, I will add that top line for the Bulldogs of Gajewski, Smith, and DiGiulio combined for 8 points on Tuesday night. So that was pretty impressive. DiGiulio had a goal and 2 assists. Sebastian Smith had a hat trick, and I believe Gajewski had a goal and an assist.
So for the Wolverines, it's going to be Matt Cunningham, Ian Kimball, Blake Petterly, Jake Emery, and Max Hartwell. Getting the start in net is Trevor Heslop. Hasn't seen too much action this season, but gets the nod here for the contest. And we'll see how he will do. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Herman and Calvin Keys, Thursday night Bulldog hockey. You're watching on ACTV.
Continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. 161 years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree here, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.
Welcome back inside Arrington Ice Arena. Thursday night hockey is the sight from Adrian, Michigan. The Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and your Adrian College Bulldogs. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Herman. As always, joined alongside by Calvin Keys. This should be an exciting one. Game number 2 of this week's series, and actually the second of 3rd games for this week. The Bulldogs still have one more tilt to go on Saturday night, as they have senior night hosting Trine University. 20 minutes up on the score clock. Puck is dropped. We are underway at the AIA as the Bulldogs win the opening draw. It's quickly dumped in. Heslop will have to stick it aside. Justin Jammer takes a tumble. Here's Smith. Had a hat trick the other night on Tuesday. We'll see what he can do here. Nolan goes D-to-D with Thornton. Over for Smith. Towards the front. Fires. Saved by Heslop. They score! Just like that! The captain strikes first. It's 1-0 Bulldogs. Could you have asked for a better start than 24 seconds into the first period?
Just what the doctor ordered for the Adrian College Bulldogs. We talked about it, wanting to come out of the gates strong after allowing the first goal in the meeting between these two teams on the road on Tuesday night. They answer here, and that's just, I believe, Matteo DiGiulio right on the doorstep, finding the loose puck for the rebound, and tucks it home here to make it 1-0 Bulldogs.
Like you said, Calvin, the other day, it was Michigan-Dearborn who got things started early, and this time it's the Bulldogs' turn. Cy Toth will chase after this. David Dell with the swipe towards the end boards. Mins is there to stop it for a moment. Sent all the way up. Here's Caleb Mins towards the right side ring. Shoveled back towards the top. There's a quick shot into the glove of DeContney's as he's able to hold on for his first stop of the evening. $18:51 here in the first period on ACTV. Delay on the draw just for a moment. This is Camilla, who will face off with Jason Kupari. One back. Hatcher, quick pass, finds its way to Armstrong. He speeds his way towards the front on one hand, jackknife from him. Here's a wraparound attempt. Heslop with the stop. Sticks poking at it. Finally, it squirts loose. Towards the outside, Mott to McLaughlin. Fires off the shoulder of Hatcher as he stepped accidentally in the lane there. Did not mean to block that shot, but he did nonetheless. And this puck is redirected into the netting, as we'll take another whistle. Matt DeCesare and Jason Kupari. Kupari will win it through the legs of DeCesare. As stopping for a second is Markinchuk. Quick takeaway. Bulldogs all offense. Jammer with the shot, flashing the leather is Heslop, as he dumps that puck after the whistle. Showing a little bit of swagger there. Right side draw. This time being Chance Matthews. And Cesare. Cesare runs it back. Here's a tip shot in front. They score! A redirection on the net front sends the Bulldogs up by a pair with 18:05 left to go in the first period. The faceoff was won back and then put to the top. Quick shot from the point, and it's put back. Bulldogs all throttle 2 minutes into the game. leaving their mark. Sebastian Smith with a dump in. Gets sent back down low. Cyrus Toth plays it with the hand. And there's going to be a penalty called here for a trip. I think it's going to go against Sebastian Smith. Seems to be in disbelief. It was awkward, too, because the official called him by his first name. You don't traditionally see that. So Michigan-Dearborn with the first 5-on-4 here tonight will get a chance. Sheldon Nolan picks this puck off. Right off the draw, it's cleared down. And that will kill off some time for the Bulldogs. Wolverines looking to regroup and regather as they're down 2-0.
I think it's a testament to how familiar this officiating crew is with the Bulldog team, that they literally know the Adrian players on a first-name basis with how often they are just around the rink and officiating the matchups here at Harrington Ice Arena. Pretty funny stuff.
Absolutely, and what's great, too, is a lot of these officials not only just officiating for Adrian College, but other high-level schools in the area, as well as some professional games as well. We have officials who keep games in the ECHL, the SPHL, NCAA Division I, close by in Ann Arbor. So our officiating crews always make the rounds. As Nathaniel Mott tries to clear, fails on that attempt. But the good second effort from DeCesare as he gets his stick slashed out of his hands. Wolverines will go to work. Right side point is Emery. Good forecheck from Armstrong. Daniel Mott ties up. He comes in contact with Bailey Bird, leading scorer for this Michigan squad. 49 points in 20 games. Bulldogs still trying to find their way to it. 42 seconds left to go in the 5-on-4. Emery gets stopped at the right point. This clears down to DeContenys as he will gingerly leave it off for Ethan McLaughlin. Quick wrister, spins around, and Heslop will have to stop and leave it for his defenseman Ryan Stanley. Here's Stanley with a quick forward pass. A backhand shovel and a big hit there from David Dell. Lays it down on Quest Bigelow. Bulldogs love it from the bench. 4 seconds left to go in the 5-on-4. DeContenys lays down on the belly to make the stop. And Sebastian Smith will have to wait just an extra tick off the clock to be released and go back to even strength.
Let's take another look at this hit, Herm. Wolverines moving the puck up the ice. They've got it on the far side. Good forecheck here to head down low, but look out. The Deller General, as they call him, bringing in the artillery, David Dell.
Oh, and there's a turnover. Smith, fresh out of the box, catches it on the breakaway, scores! Sebastian Smith continues the point streak. And we're going to get a goalie change for the Wolverines.
My goodness, Heslop already leaving the net, as that is 3 goals on 4 shots, less than 5 minutes into the hockey game for Adrian College. Doesn't get much better.
Tanner Beals will replace Heslop in the blue paint as he goes for a quick skate. Collecting himself, making sure the nerves are settled, coming into a 3-0 game at the 15:39 mark here in the first period. And we talked about starting hot in the pre-show, Calvin. Can you start any hotter than this?
Yeah, you know, I'm glad they listened to my key to the game.
Here's Gajewski with a rip, blocked off a shin pad, dumped back down low by Toth.
But in complete honesty, it doesn't have anything to do with what I was saying. I think it was pretty well known by this Bulldog team. They've had slow starts in 2024 so far. And this was the absolute opposite of that. I mean, coming out, firing on all cylinders, and now Beals has to do one of the most difficult things in hockey, step into a game cold as the backup.
Tanner Beals comes into this game, 13 games played thus far, 242 GAA, as well as a .912 save percentage.
Penalty coming here.
You are right. 7-3-1 on the season.
Smith
And
again.
Sebastian Smith is going to get called for another trip, as he's got a smile as he heads back to the sin bin.
Artie is on the score sheet 3 times, and we have just played 5 minutes of hockey.
What a wacky start to this game. Good if you're a Bulldog fan, not so much, unfortunately, if you're rooting for the opposition. But the Bulldogs wanting to show out in front of their home crowd here at Arrington Ice Arena. Thursday night hockey. This is what you love to see from your team. Josh Weber will send a pass over. Cullinan right back to Weber. Here's a shot, shoulder to side by DeCottney's, arm up, and we're going to go to 4-on-4 here, as Josh Weber is going to get called down. I'm going to guess this will be interference, but it is a rough nonetheless, so only 18 seconds of power play time for the Wolverines, and we'll skate 4-on-4 for the next minute and 42 seconds.
They're going to have to fix the clock here because they put the penalty up on the board against Adrian instead of Michigan-Dearborn.
I'm sure they'll sort that out in just a couple of seconds.
As a hockey fan, I mean, this is entertaining.
Absolutely.
As high event as the game can possibly be, just 5 minutes and 19 seconds in. Lots of different storylines already, and the game's barely started. Just waiting for them to fix this one because they put up a penalty for Michigan-Dearborn now, but we've still got 2 on the board for the Bulldogs. This is where you play the Jeopardy music, Herm.
Absolutely. I'm surprised we haven't heard it yet. But we'll stay silent on the PA system as they try and sort this out. They might just have to play it as it is.
I mean, everyone on the ice knows what the situation is, so it's not too big of a deal. We'll have to see. But so far in this game, we just saw the Bulldogs gain momentum off of their penalty kill. A power play early on in the game can do one of 2 things for you. It can either gain your own power play momentum or gain your opponent's penalty kill momentum. Bulldogs did just that by killing it off pretty confidently. And then the ever-dangerous man springing out of the box behind the defense. Perfect timing. Sebastian Smith all alone, makes no mistake.
So the penalties will remain up, but we know that it is 4-on-4 hockey, not 4-on-3. Thornton is down low. Excuse me, that's Cameron Armstrong. Racing up, Bailey Bird. Most points for the Wolverines this season as a quick backhand pass is stopped by DeCottney's with 14:20 remaining in the first period. Only a couple seconds shaved off of the incidental minors. Some discrepancy on the line changes here as well. Hunter Allen, the newest member of the Bulldogs, out to the ice.
I think, not sure what this lineup is here for Dearborn. I think they wanted to make one more change, and the officials wouldn't allow them to, so that's a new one. I've never seen a guy line up right beside the bench like that to make a line change off the draw.
Gonna have to agree with you. A little bit of an interesting strategy, but worked out in their favor. Cycling around, Duke Allen. Towards the top, drops back for McLaughlin. Has Nathaniel Mott on the wide side. Here's a shot, stick to side by Tanner Beals. Hunter Allen, a speedy forward, scored his first game with the Bulldogs the other week. Scored on Tuesday in the Michigan-Dearborn's first game. Here's Mott Goes over. What a save! Might have caught the iron. Tanner Beals, full elastic man. And that puck stayed out somehow. Coming the other way with it is Chance Matthews. Fires one high. Jordan Camilla back to recollect it. Sends it off the boards. Ethan McLaughlin there. Mott will be replaced by Cy Toth. And Justin Jammer will make his way towards the ice surface. One more substitution in David Dell. And the Bulldogs will lead the breakout.
Those are the saves where I kind of just watch the goaltender and I'm just in awe, because if I tried to make a save like that or spread my legs out like that, I'd have a double ACL tear.
Always got to be flexible if you're a netminder. Scraping the blue there with the puck was David Dell. Barely kept it in as the Wolverine penalty will expire. Weber out of the box. Good poke from Chad Notzel as he kicks it, trying to go forward. Weber crunched there by Toth as they bumped into one another. Notzel hit hard by Weber. Both sides dishing it out. Chad Notzel, left side, now skating towards the middle. Puck dribbled off his stick, but it's kept in by Hatcher. Looking towards the front. Moved it over, off the iron, it stays out. Hatcher continues the cycle. Connects with Nolan. Long shot, in front save from Beals as he holds on.
Adrian just has so many unselfish players, and you see again there as I believe that was Notzel who sent the puck out front towards Jamer, who was just inches away from tucking it in. Good night. Here's another look at the save earlier from Beals, though. Take another look at this beauty.
Cross crease from Mott, and oh my goodness. You got to stretch out pretty good to make that one.
I tip my cap to Beals. All that Camilla can do is look skyward, because that is just an absolute highway robbery. A complete heist.
Absolutely, and sometimes you see the lighter moments between opposing players and goalies. Like, you remember a couple of years ago with Carey Price and Ovechkin, where Price robbed them at the last second in the third period to try and tie up a game, and all he did was clap his hands and give him a tap on the pad. Sometimes you just got to give some love to the other way. Sheldon Nolan caught that at the top of the left blue. To Cesare, a backhand pass intended for Spate. Bounced off of his stick as he pulls up and backhands back towards the deep corner. To Cesare hounding towards the front. Arm up for icing, and we will get the whistle. 11:32 remaining here in the first period from Arrington Ice Arena. Alex Herman and Calvin Keys on ACTV. Happy to have you all join us here this evening from wherever you may be watching. Adrian College and the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines. One of those dates that you have circled on your calendar every year that these two teams play each other. They do not like one another for sure. And the Bulldogs making it really difficult for the team they are squaring off with. Mott with a high slap shot that goes off the top of the glass. McLaughlin with some speed. Treks to the outside. Looks for an option, finds it in Gajewski. One of the snipers for the Adrian College squad. Bailey Bird tries to make a toe drag. Can't get it done. Mott with a nice defensive stick. Hard hit there by DeJulio. Sent on Craig McCog. Turnover in front. Centering pass doesn't go. Here's Gajewski, right circle. Sends one on, goes wide. DeJulio has one goal in this game so far, the first of the evening. Toth to Gajewski. Top of the point, snapped in front, blocked off a body. And a pile up with Gajewski and Craig McCog behind the play. Declan Flanagan. Hard hit there, and an extra shove sent on as they'll fight for this in the corner. Breaks loose by Graham. Connor Graham returning to the lineup after being sidelined for some time. Skating back to get it is A.J. Bennett. Angled into the boards. A centering feed towards the hash marks. Redirected off of a stick. Brody Thornton will bend down to stop it with the glove as we cross over the 10 frame.
We just saw on the other end of the ice why head coach for Adrian Gary Estalos was so excited to bring Hunter Allen in because of that physicality and the size he brings to the lineup. He's really unafraid to throw his body around, and it creates space for himself and his teammates out on the ice and creates turnovers.
And when you need to rely on him for some scoring as well, you can dish it out. Jack of all trades. Here's a backhand pass over the right corner of the bar and deflects into the netting as we'll get a whistle.
Great fans in attendance here tonight. I think those are some of your teammates, Herm.
Those are. That's the ACHA D2 boys.
Taking in the game. Little wave from Sean Potts there, defenseman for the team. Tyler Ackerman, Dominic Malone. His dad is a legend, always buys us food up here in the booth.
Shout out to Dominic Malone's father, Mr. Malone.
Good stuff there.
We continue on as Armstrong stopped it and left it for Hatcher. Dumps in there. Camilla to chase it. A one-touch pass. Bobbled. Turned away for Hatcher as he uses the edge work to create some space. Right corner tie-up. Camilla hammered hard there into the boards. Wolverines will come away with it. Hartwell will have to circle back. Didn't like the options he had. Just bounces the other way. It's Josh Weber. Fires a shot. Deflected by a nice stick play from Mott. Camilla held up there on one arm as Weber picks up the loose puck. Hatcher steps in there to lay the body down. Nobody falling there. Good balance from both sides. I think Cy Toth there caught a puck off the helmet. A little bit of a reaction from both benches.
You hear the sound effect. Both guys just kind of, or both benches, I should say, just cringing at that puck going up high. If it weren't college hockey, if he was still playing junior, might have to make a trip to the dentist after that one.
Never a good thing. Got to protect your head and your face.
He's got the Nemo bubble on, though, so he's good.
That he does. Here's Justin Jammer moving it over. What a save from Beals. Right pad stop from Tanner Beals as he denies an empty net opportunity. Two really fantastic stops in this period since entering the game from Tanner Beals. But DeGiulio will send his way towards the net. Stopped on the entry. Quick shot there, sticked aside. The backhand is touched up by Gajewski. Saucer pass. Bennett tried to glove it down. Smith breaks his way towards the front, now towards the backhand. Bounced off the outside of the apron. DeGiulio lost his handle there. Wolverines looking to create some offense. Only 3 shots thus far, with 6:40 remaining in the first.
I will say I've been impressed by the play of the Wolverine netminder Tanner Beals so far. He started the game on Tuesday night and actually played well for the first 30 minutes, and then the Bulldog pressure kind of got to him and was letting some shots in that he probably would like to have back. But I think for the lion's share of that game before he was pulled in the third, he looked great, and similar stuff tonight coming in early on in relief of Trevor Heslop, I believe.
Beals the other night saw 35 shots and saved 28 before he was pulled with about 8 minutes left to go in the third period. So he was certainly sent his fair share of biscuits. McLaughlin fakes the slap shot. Down low is Allen, a blind pass for Spate. In front is Mins, receives a hard push from behind. He'll recover and gets another shove as he's locked up there with 2 Wolverines. Breaks loose. Spate tried to send one on. Beals down to the split again. Here's Thornton, switches spots with Spate. Matthews with some room, dumps in. Spates with a nice body contact. And a trip up there with Armstrong as he was making a change onto the ice. Don't think they meant to do that. Hatcher overskated it for a moment, but finds his way nice. He's got some speed. Drops back. Here's a shot, stick to side, and it stays in play. Long pass. Clears the neutral zone, and it is called for icing, as Mott was the first back to be awarded the whistle. There you see some of the fans in attendance here this evening at Arrington Ice Arena.
This game has had a little bit of a different complexion to it because in the game at Dearborn on Tuesday night, there was not a whole lot of penalties called. I think we saw 8 penalty minutes in the entire game, and because of that, Michigan-Dearborn and Adrian both were able to take some liberties, and there's some extracurricular, there was some extra pushing and shoving after whistles, and also more physical play as a result. Here early on, the referees have really reined it in, so I think we've seen more of a tame affair than the extremely feisty and testy one we saw at the UMD Fieldhouse on Tuesday. Opens up ice for the Bulldogs, certainly.
That it does, and Sebastian Smith already with 2 tripping calls, and a big hit there from Mott. Nice reversal on Max Hartwell. Mott was skating with his head up the entire way, recognized the play. Not somebody you want to run into on the ice is number 14, Nathaniel Mott. 6'2", 210 pounds from Mississauga, Ontario. One of the impressive freshmen that we saw break out last season. And he's done a great job this year. And I think the Bulldogs are going to take a penalty as Nash Hatcher is being escorted to the box.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, so Hatcher must have said something over there. I think this season, one thing that I've been really impressed with from Hatcher is, for the majority, he's done a much better job of channeling his energy and his heart for the game towards goal scoring and the offensive side. There we just saw a little moment where maybe lost his cool just a tad bit. Oftentimes it's all about the second one that the referees are going to catch, so maybe it was going back and forth and then the referee just happened to hear what Hatcher said. I think that's why it's always important to just stay away from those retaliation type penalties. May have been extra cross-check after the whistle as well. You never know. It's hockey. It's going to get a little chippy out there.
Here's a quick shot. Save to Cottonies. As he shuts the door, Bulldogs will look to clear. Jammer is able to do so. And I didn't fully catch it, but it looked like there was a Dearborn player down behind the play as they were making that call. So maybe, like you were mentioning earlier, Calvin, there might have been some physicality paired with that penalty as Bird picks up top of the point. Wolverines looking to set up.
It's interesting. Typically, I always assume if you see that unsportsmanlike conduct signal given that it's usually something verbal that transpired. But regardless, Bulldog penalty kill will look to stay strong here with Dearborn trying to bookend this period, looking to get on the board.
We'll see what Michigan-Dearborn can draw up here. A turnover in their own zone. Lost in front. Jammer will try and get right back to it, and he does. Good stretched out stick from the big man, Justin Jammer. 6'3", 210 pounds from Nepean, Ontario. Somebody else just like Nathaniel Mott that you don't want to run into. Hartwell on his own blue. Collects the time. Rimmed around the boards for DeContenys. Clears himself off the high glass and out. 27 seconds left to go. Beals will have to leave the blue paints as DeCesare was coming in. Bigelow lost it to DeCesare once more. He'll wait, sends it down, and it's tipped by the stick of Hartwell. 10 seconds remaining.
I love the play from Beals there coming out of his net. It takes some confidence in yourself to come out there decisively, but he didn't hesitate, and he really made a strong play. So when you're able to move the puck like that as a goaltender, it makes your defenseman in front of you feel a lot more confident about their game, and just developing that trust relationship is so important and helps you get the puck moving back up ice offensively.
Bulldogs successfully kill off that penalty to Nash Hatcher, the third penalty they've taken this period. DeGiulio swipes one up top. But it's turned over on the blue, kept in just barely by a last-second effort from Mott. Cleared out of the way. Gajewski stops with the blades. McLaughlin will hold on just for a moment, looking for the right option. It's found in Sebastian Smith. Goal in the game thus far. Gajewski lost it. Under 60 to go in the first period. Back from their own end, it's Bennett. Now to Thornton, quickly to Nolan. Lifts one sky high, glove down for a moment by Markachuk. Turned over. Here goes Mins. He's got some room. Turning up towards the ice, dribbles off his stick as it was looking towards the front of the net. Now in between the hash marks. Some slapping for it. Good effort from Thornton. He sends one on, and Beals will have to cover up. 21.9 seconds left to go in the first period.
Talked about it before we went on air today, Herm. I love these Michigan-Dearborn uniforms. They look so nice, and, you know, arguably actually maybe better than the University of Michigan D1 hockey team's jerseys, but I will admit I am a sucker for the cursive font on the front of any jersey. Always looks nice.
Seeing that cursive font start to be a more common trend amongst teams. Saw the other day the AHL outdoor game between the Charlotte Checkers and the Rochester Americans. Both had script text as their center patch. Sheldon Nolan, a one-timer, bounces in front, loose scramble, 1 second to go. The horn sounds, it stays out. Hunter Allen was fighting for it, as we'll get some extra activity after the whistle. Fans love it. Can hear the rowdiness from the Wow Cafe and Eatery upstairs atop the benches. But 20 minutes gone by. 3-0 the score in favor of Adrian College as both teams will head back to the dressing room. A lot of action early on, basically all in that first 5 or 6 minutes of the period. 3 goals, the first one coming within 20 seconds of the opening period.
Yeah, and here's another look at that scrum. Chad Notzel, his helmet went sideways here. That doesn't look too comfortable. Referee Bill Jones, you know, your favorite, he was straightening it out for him, so good stuff there. And one other play that I'd like to take a look at here. This hit that we saw, I believe it was from Nathaniel Mott, kind of reminds me of the card game Uno, because if you take a look here at the play, Bulldogs are moving the puck up ice. The Michigan-Dearborn player was about to throw a draw for a wild card Mott's way, and then just at the last second throws up the Uno reverse card. Look at this. Bang!
Oh, how about that from Nathaniel Mott? Not somebody that you want to run into for sure, as we mentioned, but a lot to like from that first 20 minutes. Great offense, great goaltending from Noah DeContin's. Only had to stop 5 shots in that first frame. We saw a goaltending change on the other side as well. Tanner Beals came in for the replacement. And not too much else on that front. 20 minutes gone. Well, how'd you feel, Calvin?
I feel great. I think there was a lot of exciting action from both teams. Michigan-Dearborn giving a little bit of pushback there as the period wore on. I think, you know, for them, the key on the power play is going to be to have to establish the offensive zone, because I think what we saw on Tuesday, you know, they were able to get 2 goals on the board against the Bulldogs, which is no small feat the way this team defends. But one thing that was concerning is when they were on the power play, weren't really able to get set up. So I think for the Adrian Bulldogs, it's continuing to get pressure, getting in the face of Michigan-Dearborn players, and making it so that they don't have a lot of time and space to get pucks deep or to control the play, rather, as they're heading into the O-zone. Force them to make plays they don't want to make, and then it makes it easier to get the puck back and clear it down ice. And if you can't get set up in the zone, it's really tough to gain momentum on your special teams. Bulldogs looking good, and another positive, I think, was limiting the shots where Michigan-Dearborn was able to shoot from. They didn't have a lot of grade A chances right in front of the Cottonies, so helping out your goaltender, especially in his first game back from illness, is huge. Just making sure that he is not getting pucks from grade A areas and has plenty of time to see it while he's heading towards them as well. I thought they did a good job clearing out in front of the blue paint.
Offensive and defensive domination in the first period. 3-0 the score between the Adrian College Bulldogs and the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines. Alex Herman and Calvin Keys. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Bulldog Hockey on ACTV.
firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
back inside Arrington Ice Arena. Thursday night hockey between the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and your Adrian College Bulldogs. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to ACTV. Alex Herman and Calvin Keys on the call here this evening. Happy to have you all rejoin us for the second period. 20 minutes will go on the score clock, as it always does. Official Bill Jones will blow the whistle. Puck is dropped, and we are underway at the AIA for the second time here tonight. 3-0 the score in favor of the home team. The squad wearing the yellow, black, and white had a hot start after the first 20 minutes as that floater fielded down by DeContin's, his sixth stop of the game. Pass intended for DeJulio is picked off. Backstepping is Jake Emery. Losing it. This is Thornton. Fakes the pass for a moment, clears, and no icing as it was met just in time by Max Hartwell. Bailey Bird goes for a skate. Crafty with the hockey stick as well. He's got some moves in his pocket. Long shot, redirected, and they score. 3-1. Now the contest, a tip in front. We just said his name. Bailey Bird picks up the goal.
Unfortunately, didn't have a great angle on the shot there from our camera, so we won't be able to show a replay, but I think that's the key for this Michigan-Dearborn team is getting back to basics, and pucks on net from the point, tips in front. That's how they were able to get on the board.
Bulldogs will win this back. As it's sent down, here goes Spates. Leaves it over, quick shot, save from Beals, out to cover it. Left side draw, as stepping in there is Spate. One back, shot from Toth is blocked. Left side corner. Picked up as the Wolverines off to the races. Dell, nice hit there. Boys on the bench love that one. Quick little scrum, it kicks out to the top for Makarachuk. And a nice hard hit there. Caleb Mins got some room, 2-on-1 if they can hurry. Waits, fires, and it's blocked. Nice step-up soak there by Ryan Stanley. And here's another chance in front. Looking for the 5-hole was Hatcher. And closing the door was Beals. Oh, and Hatcher taking a hard hit there, and he's down in some discomfort. We might have to take a step aside just for a moment as Hatcher is down. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll return in just a second after this quick injury timeout. Ash Hatcher returns to the bench. Will get checked out by the staff, and we'll see what transpired on that play. Quick little turnover, and Hatcher, oh man.
That's incidental. That's not intentional at all.
Yeah, that was a hard hit. Open ice, too. But the Wolverines are going to take a penalty here, as the Bulldogs will get a power play opportunity with 17:59 left to go in the second.
And genuinely, I don't know if I like the call there because the Michigan-Dearborn player just didn't see Hatcher coming in towards him and kind of just was protecting himself. Hatcher bounces off of him. Obviously, it's unfortunate that Hatcher's injured. I think that's probably what factored into the call, but didn't look like there was a lot of intent there, just kind of two guys coming together inadvertently, and then Hatcher took the worst of it.
We'll have to take a watch back to make our ultimate decision as a quick pass in front. Loose puck, scramble, they score! A power play goal for Matteo DiGiulio, his second of the night. Bulldogs lead it 4-1. The power play got to work quickly.
You know, in the last few stages of this game, it kind of felt like the Bulldogs are at a point of balance going into this second period, almost a homeostasis, if you will, up 3 goals. Michigan-Dearborn shaking that up by getting on the board and, you know, applying some pressure back against the Bulldogs. I love the response here on the power play to score quickly and send things back to a balanced formula for Adrian after not really panicking, but kind of a little bit of a curveball in the game with the Wolverines getting on the board.
So the Bulldogs will regain their 4-1 lead, up by 3 for the second time here tonight. And will continue play in the offensive zone. Left side corner, oh, hard shove there on Cameron Armstrong. Bounced up to the right blue, flipped out of play, and back for Sheldon Nolan. Quick snapped pass will be called down for icing. 17 minutes flat left to go here in the second period.
Herm, you said you wanted another look at this hit. Well, here we go. You're going to see here, Hatcher's going to come onto the screen from the right side and just kind of, you know, players collide. Maybe the elbow gets up a little bit there from the Michigan-Dearborn player, but it looked mainly reactionary, and it wasn't something where the Wolverine player was going out of their way to headhunt Hatcher necessarily, just 2 guys coming together, and the elbow really caught Hatcher up to the dome. So it was good to see him skate off the ice under his own power, but sending our thoughts and prayers to him, and hopefully he's all right.
Loose puck in front, down low near the red line. This is Camilla, up for Nolan, fires in the glove, covered up, bounces out. Officials thought it was covered. So a quick whistle awarded to Tanner Beals.
And you be the judge here. Should this play get whistled dead, we'll have another look at what transpired. It's a point shot that goes towards Beals, and one of those tough instances because if the goaltender had indeed covered it up, you have to blow that whistle quick so there's no potential for players crashing and, you know, player safety is paramount, but then you have the other side of the coin where the puck wasn't actually covered.
I think from the perspective of the officials there, he was sort of behind the play and saw Beals put the trapper on top. So can certainly understand why he was trying to get the whistle to end play there from further chaos.
Sometimes it can be a lose-lose situation as a former hockey referee myself when you're blowing those, because one team's always going to be upset in some of these scenarios. Oh my goodness. That was a chop and a half right there.
Yeah, and the Wolverines are certainly going to get called for this one. We talked about calls earlier. The hit on Hatcher was a little rough, and this one was tough as well, as Declan Flanagan will have to sit down. We'll catch a second look of it here. I was checking some stats behind the play.
Flanagan's going to go full Paul Bunyan on the arm of Notzel there. Just something that is, we were talking about the hit on Hatcher's unintentional. That's the definition of intent, just elevating the stick and then delivering as much force as possible into the hands of the Bulldog forward.
Bulldog power play will go to work once again. Scored on their last one. DiGiulio fires, blocked in front. Wolverines will look to clear. It's Josh Makarchuk. Recollecting is Nolan. Crosses the blue, is on sides. Tries to send a pass. Can't get it through traffic. 2-on-2 as it's tied up on the near wall.
Great shot there from our cameraman, Adrian Michaluk. He's done a good job tonight capturing the action from ice level.
Nice move from DiGiulio, looking towards the front on one hand. Here's Smith, and he scores! Back-to-back power play goals. It's 5-1 Bulldogs.
Yeah, really nice job by Sebastian Smith to sniff out this loose puck. And it all starts here with the victory on the wall with the board battle. Everyone joining the fray. DiGiulio comes away. That's a nice move to work it up for his line mate, DeCesare. And then Smith just left unmarked. Catch and shoot there. And that's where that puck was at on the blade of Sebastian Smith's stick. For a lot of guys, that's out of their wheelhouse. He had that between his legs and was still able to roof it all the way up to the top corner. The point of release was so impressive, and I think because of where Smith had it somewhat awkwardly for a lot of guys, for him, that's just an area of his toolbox, and it maybe caught Beals off guard that he even saw that shot come his way.
Yeah, and while Smith photosynthesized that one past Wheels, the Bulldogs are going to go to the box here. Hunter Allen is going to get called down for a rough with 15:04 left to go in the second period. So now it's the Wolverines' turn to take a crack at the special team unit.
Here's the hit. Just kind of in the numbers from Allen there. As like I said, we saw a lot of this in the game on Tuesday night. The thing is, a lot of these penalties went uncalled, so the game continued to escalate, and now the referee's showing that they are going to crack down on those kind of fouls.
We continue on. It's Weber who sends it down low. Emery over to Weber. Slapped in front. Nice block. Down on one knee was Cy Toth as he soaked it. Emery releases. Tipped. That one catching the outside. And here's a long pass. Short-handed is Spate. And a glove save from Beals.
My goodness. How about the vision here? Finding the puck as Nash Hatcher immediately goes quick up. Sam Spate in behind as we see here one-on-one. Beals able to grab it with the catching mitt, and then Spate knocks over a Wolverine in the aftermath.
Good to see no contact between those two players after the whistle. Spate knew he was down and got up and turned the other way. So no incidents there. As Jammer won it back, but stepping in was Quest Bigelow. Nice step-up play there by Matthews, trying to work his way through traffic. Now in front to Bigelow. Cleared out. Minute 04 left to go. Flanagan was holding on to the belt buckle of Jammer with his stick. Thought that Jammer was holding on to it. He was trying to skate away. Right side is Hartwell. Wears an A on his sweater, fires a shot that goes wide. Now in the left corner, cleared off the glass. And all the way down. Long pass up for Bigelow. Comes from the stick of Beals in his own crease. Saucer pass diagonally up. Now a backhander, little time remaining on the 5-on-4. Once again, cleared down by the Bulldogs. Quickly, it's Craig McCogg. Almost turned over for Camilla. Allen out of the box. Hatcher will skate his way up over the blue. Fires one. The rebound loose in front. Diving for it was Allen. Almost got it on the last second effort. Here goes Allen again. Shoves a man off as he wards off the puck. Oh, and he tried to flip it up for the Michigan. Thornton to Hatcher. Spins off, taken down. Allen to Nolan for Hatcher. In front, a slap pass, blocked. Here's Bailey Bird with the lone goal for the Wolverines this evening. DeCont needs to stop it. Plays it off the glass. Now it's Notzel. Here's Graham. Right side now to the backhand. Circles his way around the zone. And a penalty being called. I think it's going to be Chad Notzel who's going to have to sit this one. We'll see what the call is. It's a cross check against Chad Notzel. There you see mixed around the Adrian D2 and Adrian men's NCAA team in attendance here this evening. Good to see some smiling Bulldog faces. Draws one back, penalty kill will go back to work. That one just barely missing the center ice scoreboard. That was a long floater sent down by Cy Toth.
I think the goal for this Michigan-Dearborn power play is to try and get set up in the zone for at least 30 to 45 seconds, and it looks like that's what they're going to do here. Nice job to control it into the attacking end.
Here's Stanley. Left side point, gets it right back, and the give and go plays catch with Flanagan. Looking for the shot, takes it. It's blocked and just barely goes wide of the post as Jammer will hold it with his foot, and it's kicked back up top. Good takeaway there from the Cesare. He's got some space by himself, looking towards it, fires it. Blocker save, and a penalty also being called. I think this one might be against Michigan, and indeed it is. Declan Flanagan will sit down for the cross check, for the slashing minor. .11:08 left to go in the second period. There you see up top, Wild Cafe and Eatery, and in that nice sweater throwing up the peace sign is now ex-head of equipment manager Ty LaFollette, watching his first game in 4 seasons, not from the bench of Adrian College. So we extend a big congratulations out to him as Mott fires a shot that barely goes wide. Stretching the pass was Beals. Going rink wide to Bird. Pass was off the mark, and a big hit sent down on McLaughlin. Oh man, how about that one from Josh Makarchuk?
Mac attack from Makarchuk there, my goodness. Look out.
In front all alone is Camilla. Looking for the outlet. Finds it up top at McLaughlin. Now to Mott. 4-on-4 play for the next 15 seconds. Mott gets it there. Shot taken, was blocked. Mott back to get it. Out of the box is Hunter Allen. That's Chad Notzel. Power play for the next 50 seconds. This finds its way to DiGiulio. Breaks his way through. Turned over and cleared. DeContney is taking all his time as he played it, and this is redirected into the netting.
How about this hit from Josh Makarchuk? You see Makarchuk skating it up ice. He'll look for the stretch feed. That one bounces away from Bird, and now watch out, freight train coming through towards McLaughlin. That one sent some vibrations up here in the booth. May have registered on the Richter scale, Herm.
Absolutely, yeah. McLaughlin had made that pass and was just following it with his head and didn't see that there was a freight train coming his way. Got to make sure of your surroundings when you're making plays on the frozen ice surface.
Happens to the best of us, as the great Don Cherry once said. Ethan McLaughlin just got caught in the trolley tracks. Referee just knocked over a Wolverine, too.
Hartwell with the shot, sticked aside by DeContney's, and Flanagan will exit the box. This one sticked aside again. Here's Sebastian Smith. Haven't seen too much of him this period. He's had a strong offensive effort in the last 2 games. DiGiulio with a nice crunch in the corner. Soccer kicked away. Jake Emery. Dell loses it there. to Weber. Tries to play it through the legs of Toth as Toth walks right over him as the long shot stopped by the pad of the Cottonies. And a stretch pass for Mins. Broken stick. There was interference there, and Beals way out of the crease to make the play. Gotta have a lot of confidence to do that. Vacating the crease as he did. Thornton over for Toth. Looks to make the play. He does, but it bounces to the stick of Stanley. And Schmagaj has this puck, which he sends up. Mins goes over. Leaves it for Allen. Down low there is Connor Graham. Nice move from Armstrong. Sets a dead angle shot. The second backhander stays out. More chaos in front. That one towed aside by Beals. Long pass is cleared down. It's going to be icing. 7:12 left to go in the second period. 5-on-5 homeostasis. 5-1 score in favor of Adrian College.
Ooh, that shot from Armstrong just went off the joint of Beal's stick. Good chance off the faceoff.
Here's Hatcher down low, looking for the wraparound, and it's faked! They score! Cameron Armstrong goes upstairs on a crafty play from Nash Hatcher. I gotta take a second look at this one, because if I'm not mistaken, Hatcher faked the wraparound and then played it on the backhand. We'll see it here as he goes around, and somehow that just got lost. Cameron Armstrong wide open, takes full advantage for the 6-1 lead.
I'm not sure if that was a fake. It might have been a defensive play by the Wolverine to knock it away, the defenseman behind the net. Either way, it's tough as a goaltender when you're sliding one direction and the puck goes the other.
Can't predict that happening. Sometimes as a netminder, you get bounces sent your way that you aren't quite expecting, and that's exactly what happened there. Not the fault of Tanner Beals. Was preparing to seal the post with the toe and got thrown for a changeup. Up top is Bird. Will rim it down low. Thornton looks to lift out, is able to do so, and chasing it back is Sam Spates. One of the grad students this year for Adrian College, longtime member of the Bulldog locker room. Nolan will get this. And now Sheldon Nolan. Tipped away is Thornton. Now for Spate. 6 minutes left to go in this second period. Nice move from Jammer. Looks to go through the legs, and Notel tries to shelf it. And stopping it with the glove is Tanner Beals. How about this move from Justin Jammer? Look out. Drops it back. Nice play to leave it for the one-touch shot. The skill on full display here as that shot moved aside swiftly by Beals. Shakes it off. A high pass played down by Smith. Lifted to the corner. Max Hartwell will skate around his own goal. Needs to make a pass, and he does. Jake Emery shifts it forward. Gajewski. Pass through a stick. Beals will have to play it down, and on one knee sends a pass going forward. Here's David Dell. Looks towards the right wing. Has a right-handed shot. Sends a pass on. Gets a shove in the face as he'll skate it off. Smith plays it with the foot. Back the other way is Hartwell. Flanagan. Rink wide. Sends a pass over. Didn't realize that it was to Hunter Allen on the other side.
Nice hit by Juice there to knock over a Wolverine.
Hunter Allen with some speed towards the front, looking for the top corner and inches away.
Frustrated after he wasn't able to hit the top corner there, as at the other end of the rink, he had a really nice hit, kind of away from the puck, coming from Dylan Gajewski. As you look at this one, Gajewski coming in, bang.
Draw one back and played to Mott. Bounces it off the corner as it slides around and out of the offensive zone.
We've had no shortage of hitting, have we?
Absolutely. These two teams, a fierce rivalry that they have every season. As a turnover and a shot blocked by the skate of McLaughlin. Stepped up and put it all on the line.
Now, I think one thing that has to be an emphasis for the Bulldogs here, you're up by 5, but you want to continue to develop good habits and continue to play like the game is still 0-0. Some of the puck management in their own end for the past couple minutes, there's been a few miscues, and that's just something you want to avoid, because in this game it might not come back to bite you, but just not a habit you want to develop, really, Herm.
Got to keep your foot on the gas pedal. If you're Adrian College, as you mentioned, Calvin, up by 5 with 3:24 left to go in the second period. Hatcher almost came away with a breakaway. Alex Herman and Calvin Keys here on ACTV. Hatcher receives this draw pass. Spate and company will go for a change. Hatcher digs away for it. Kicks free to Thornton. Shot on, looking for the tip was Camilla. Played it down with the stick. Goes up and over. Now towards the front, sprawling out is Tanner Beals to get on top of it. Three minutes left to go here in the second period. We're watching Bulldog hockey on ACTV. Sheldon Nolan gets it over for Armstrong, fires, and into the chest of Beals. We'll take the draw on the right side. Played back. A backhander. Over for Armstrong, and touching it there was Hunter Allen. That'll shave just about 15 seconds off of that last play. Here goes Marcola as he's angled into the boards from Camilla. Two-on-two along the wall. We'll see who can dig it out first. The Cockneys will direct traffic in front. Camilla and Armstrong stays to his left and right respectively. Nice pass. Here goes Hatcher, looks to make a move, taken down. And this is going to be a penalty. Tripping is the call as the stick got caught up in the feet of Nash Hatcher. AJ Bennett will have to sit this one. And we'll see the quick passing from the Bulldogs up through the neutral zone, and taken down there was Hatcher. Another power play chance late in this one for Adrian College as they get to work. Have 2 power play goals in this period, both of those coming back to back. Here's the Cesare. Wraps around on the backhand for Smith. Nolan, Armstrong. Try to get it to DiGiulio, but it's cleared. No change for the Bulldogs, but a change for the Wolverines. Flanagan, Matthews, as well as Kimball are the choices now, and Hartwell to follow him. Up top is Nolan. Left side, Gajewski fires into the glove of Beals.
I'm always really impressed by how players at this level are able to pass the puck in tight spaces. Look at that backhand saucer right at the blue line from Smith over to Nolan. Works it free to the open man, Gajewski, and then they generate a shot. Those are times where I'd be tempted to just shoot the puck down low on the cycle. Smith is so talented, he's able to just find that tiny window of space to get it to his teammate. And then Nolan does the same to set up a premium opportunity for Gajewski. A passing and the vision is a big thing that separates the men from the boys at the ACHA level.
And these are the things that the Bulldogs practice just about every week in their sessions before game days.
Another delayed penalty here against the Wolverines.
Yep, DeContney's off to the box. We'll see 5-on-3 for the last minute of the second period. 56 seconds left to go on the initial penalty as the Wolverines will pick up a second. So a tough break as Declan Flanagan will have to go to the box once again. This is a big chance for the Bulldogs to really put the hurt on the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines. Up by 5, looking to extend even further. It's one back. Thornton on the right blue, feeds it. That shot goes over, swiping it off the blue was Beals. Made the shoulder shave, but it popped over, and he had to recover. That he did nicely. Down low is Spate. In the slot, Jammer hems one on net, trickles wide. Thornton over for Dell, gives it right back, looking to set up that one-timer. 25 seconds left to go in the period. Thornton switches spots with Dell. Mins, Dell. Down low, Spate. Fans on the one-touch pass. 10 seconds to go. Dell to Spate. Playing catch. Here's Thornton, fires. It's blocked. Looking to the backhand, will spin around. Out of the box, 5-on-4. Last second shot just goes wide. And that's going to do it for the end of the second period. What action, what chaos from Arrington Ice Arena as Adrian College skates into the third period up by 5.
Wow, yeah, action is right. I think we got a little bit of everything in that second frame, and feel a little bit bad for Tanner Beals because he's faced more rubber than a 4-lane highway in the second period with the amount of shots and pucks that were headed his way. Really had a lot of action to face, and I thought he made some really nice saves in that period. I wanted to highlight this save that he made towards the end of this second frame. There was 59 seconds left. This was kind of a sneaky save that sometimes flies under the radar, but you see Thornton here up top walking in. He's going to feed over, and then this was a puck that got by Beals initially and then was just able to scoop it with the glove out of the blue paint as the Bulldogs were looking to crash the net and get a bit of a rebound there on the doorstep. And things stand 6-1 after 40 minutes of play. All around, I think, for the Bulldogs, they're going with nearly the exact same lineup that they went on Tuesday night, and they're starting to find, their 12 forwards and 6 defensemen who they want to ice down the stretch here, and we're starting to see some of that chemistry build, players finding each other for passes and really connecting to make some nice tape-to-tape plays. And if you're Michigan-Dearborn, it's just been hard to stop when teams are really drawing you to the guy with the puck is drawing opponents to himself, and then as soon as he attracts his attention, just offloading it to the open man. it's really difficult to defend that if the passing is on point, like it has been for the Bulldogs 40 minutes into this one.
Bulldogs skate into the third period up 6-1, working the ice in their favor, leading the shot category as well, 32-12 after 40 minutes. Alex Herman and Calvin Key saying, don't go anywhere. You're watching Bulldog Hockey on ACTV.
There's so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
Welcome back inside Arrington Ice Arena. Thursday night ACHA D1 hockey between the visiting Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and your Adrian College Bulldogs. 40 minutes played thus far. 6-1 the score in favor of the Dogs as they skate into this period up by 5. Stick taps on both sides of the bench. 20 minutes will go back on the score clock. We are underway once again at the AIA as the opening draw is won back by Adrian. And they'll have 50 seconds of power play time as DeCesare motors his way in. Down low, here's a quick shot from DeCesare. Stopped by the pad was Tanner Beals. Sheldon Nolan spins one towards center. DeCesare to stop it. Up top, quick shot there, and Beals with the glove stop.
Good look at Tanner Beals here after he made that nice save. And again, I think we say this a lot when opposing teams come to the AIA and play against Adrian's ACHA squad. I think Beals has actually played really good in net, but despite that, the Bulldogs have still been able to pop a lot of goals by him just because the sheer volume of high-danger chances they've been able to generate.
And that's what happens when you're loaded with talent, as we talk about many times with this D1 squad. Can really utilize any of their players on any of their 4 offensive lines, 3 defensive pairings, and 3 netminders on any night. And that's why they're so successful in ACHA D1 play. We're back to even strength. Gajewski, not without a snipe. It's 7-1 Bulldogs.
Wow.
What a wrister from Dylan Gajewski. As the penalty expiring, skates it himself. On sides, right side wing, upstairs. How do you like that one?
Yeah, we'll watch this again in just a second. The penalty kill from Michigan-Dearborn is far too passive there, as Gajewski, as we'll show again next stoppage, was just able to skate all the way through the neutral zone without even a scratch. And then you give him credit because the shot at the end was marvelous to that top left corner. But I think also got to make it a little bit more difficult. You know, number 66, if you give him room, he's going to make you pay. And he was just kind of allowed to waltz into the Dearborn zone without much trouble at all.
So Dylan Gajewski's 15th goal this season in his 22 games played. Now at an even 30 points on the season. Is 3rd on the team behind Matteo DiGiulio, who has some tallies himself here tonight. So we'll ultimately get an updated scoring. Hunter Allen pushes the agenda as this is rimmed out over the blue as Mott, fresh off the bench, lays down a nice hit. Turned over for a moment to Craig McCaug. Kicked off a skate there as Spate was trying to pick it up. Back the other way is Hunter Allen. Small pass there as Armstrong turns off a hit and sends a pass into the netting. 17:25 is all that we have left here in the 3rd period. Bulldogs commanding by 6. In the first of the period belongs to Dylan Gajewski. Camilla gets the draw win. Hatcher along the boards. Pushed off. McLaughlin will help him out here. Lost it on the zone exit. Camilla, nice physicality. Good pickup there from Armstrong as he tries to flip one to Hatcher. Mott to McLaughlin. Puck bouncing around. It's Hatcher who will have to go backwards to go forwards on this one. Quick pass up the gut there. Joey Cullinan trying to do it all himself.
That's good work by Cullinan to move it up ice into Adrian territory, but you see the difference there for Dearborn, kind of the passive approach that gave Gajewski open room to score. Bulldogs are collapsing upon the Wolverines immediately.
Oh, and here's a quick shot fought off by Beals, and the second attempt was shelved high over the crossbar. Another chance in front, kept out by Beals as he's taken down, goes for a tumble, seems to be okay. Not putting weight on one of his legs there. We'll see what transpires of this, but we continue on. Jammer fans on a shot, hit from behind. Clean play nonetheless. Had possession of the puck, so you can do that. And I have to agree with you, Calvin. Very impressed with the way that the Bulldogs stand up the Wolverines when they're trying to go to the offense. Limiting the amount of space that they have to work with. And really right after or even before they cross over the blue line, they force them to make plays that they might not be as comfortable with, ultimately resulting in some turnovers.
Yeah, they're forced to either shoot the puck in, or if they hang on to it too long, the Bulldogs are just going to move in transition the other way off of turnovers and try and burn the Wolverines. It's what you have to do, especially if you're Dearborn, to try and take away time and space for the Bulldogs, because if you give them open ice, they're so skilled and so speedy. And the Wolverines have those capabilities too. I just think defensively the Bulldogs have looked better in terms of angling guys to the outside and at neutral ice.
Flip pass in neutral ice hits the A at center as it bounces over Gajewski's stick. Smith lost it in his feet as he sends it down. And there's going to be a penalty here. I think it's going to go against Dearborn. Some fisticuffs behind the play. See what it is. It's a rough assessed to the Wolverines' Noah Smagaj. And the Bulldogs back to the power play. If you're killing off the penalty, as the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines are here, Calvin, what are you trying to do different on this attempt than in previous?
While they're in their zone at the moment, it's keeping the Bulldogs to the outside, trying to cut off as many passing lanes as possible. As we see there, they're located centrally. Sticks are out, active stick, cutting off the lanes, and then once you get it, quickly fire it down. Here's where we'll see what their neutral zone pressure looks like. And there you see, forcing it to the outside, Bulldogs have to dump it in instead of being able to carry it in with possession. So much better from the Wolverines facing that Bulldog rush that time around.
Beals able to clear himself, as now it's left forward to Julio with room to DeCesare in front. Kept out by Beals as it 50-50s on the top of the glass. And I think this is going to be a high stick as it's whistled down with 13:55 left to go.
Best penalty kill of the game we've seen so far from Michigan-Dearborn, and I think just a sign of that is that they're getting an offensive zone face-off down a skater.
Short-handed are the Wolverines for the next minute and 13 seconds. Spate will look to start the rush. Gets a quick pass off the boards. Turns on the Jets, looks towards the front. Now the backhand. Wraps around. Thornton receives. Mins to Spate. Thornton with the shot. Kicked away by the toe of Beals. Back up top at the right blue line. Good drop pass. Thornton fires. Stick save by Beals. Sam Spate kicks it back to the top. Bulldogs using the blue line really well. A one-time drive, that one wide off the stick of David Dell. Set back down low. Here's the one-touch jammer. Couldn't get it to go, and it stays out. Oh, that one was so close to being another power play goal.
Yeah, a couple of nice saves with the right pad by Beals. Again, showing off, some of the flexibility that served him well in this game, stretching out to hug that right post. And for the Wolverines, that's a much-needed penalty kill. Got some help from every team's best penalty killer, your goaltender.
Wolverines back to full strength. Allen with a shot. Redirected. A backhander stays out from underneath the red line. Back up top for McLaughlin. Has to chase it down. Kimball was applying pressure. Forced him to make the play quickly. Long pass. No icing as it was tipped in neutral zone. Hunter Allen. Burst of speed. Tries to go through the legs. Doesn't get it to work, and he's shoved down to the ice. The freshman showing his stuff. Notzel, bottom of the circle. McLaughlin off the blue line, not where he normally is, below the red line. Looking to create some havoc in front. Nobody knows where it is for a second, and Beals will cover up. And look at this talking to with Notzel. A little bit of finger point action going on. Can only imagine the pleasant words being exchanged between both sides.
Yeah, it's really tough to, not allow emotions to go unchecked when you're down by 6. But I think for Michigan-Dearborn, even though this game may be out of reach, this is a valuable opportunity to play against probably the toughest opponent you'll see on your schedule. We talk about habits for Adrian. The habits you develop defensively if you're Michigan-Dearborn are going to help you when you're playing the weaker teams in the division. When you think of your Oaklands, your Eastern Michigans, those are the winnable games that these tough games help prepare you for.
Practice makes perfect. And when you can get into the consistent flow of a rhythm, like you said, Calvin, better results will follow. This backhander dumped in. DeContenys stops it quickly and leaves it off. Up by Hatcher. Played it off the skate. Nice physicality as he breaks the play up. This is sent for Weber. Bigelow lost it to Camilla. Tries to turn up. It'll go back the other way. Weber on the right wing sends a shot, tipped into the netting. As we get the whistle, 10:29 remaining in the third period. Alex Herman and Calvin Keys here on ACTV this evening. You're watching Bulldog hockey on Adrian College Television. The #1 student-ran broadcasting company in the country. Take a good time to shout out our crew for tonight. Myself, Alex Herman, Calvin Keys, Logan Harmon, and Adrian Miklichuk. Smith tries to poke this one free. Can't get it to go as Makarchuk down low and with it. Cullinan spins one on net, well wide. Towards the front. Blocker save from DeContenys. Hasn't been too busy here tonight, but he shoves that one off. Thornton trying to lift out of the glass, kept in by a skate blade. And Smith will pick it up. Shakes by a defender, nice silky move. Gajewski, here's a shot from McLaughlin, blocked. Little takedown there. Long pass sent up. Both teams will make a change. Back behind the play underneath his cage is Jordan Camilla. Things really starting to quiet down here at the Arrington Ice Arena.
There's still so much time left in this game, though, Herm. Another 9 minutes yet.
Absolutely is. Seeing a little bit less of the physical play that we saw in the first and the second period. But both teams still at full speed. Sam Spates looks down low. Pushed hard into the wall there as it wraps around towards the top. Nice step from Nathaniel Mott. Quick pass. Oh, and a nice hit from McLaughlin. Steps up on Kimball. Breaks him for 250 shield. Left side corner. Dell with a long shot. Blocked before it reached the net. Nobody can hold on to it yet, but it kicks back to the Bulldogs' favor, and it's gloved down by Beals. .7:52 remaining in the third period.
And I believe this is another look at the most recent goal. You see the initial drive from Dell goes wide. Look at this pass from Hunter Allen, how quickly he snaps this one down. And then from there, it's a great save made by Beals. Correction. That's what the replay was of, stretching out. I think that may have gone even off of his skate as he denied Justin Jamer.
We couldn't catch it just because we had the replay going, but Beals made a jumping chest save from the side Toth shot on the point. This will skitter around down low. Noltzel showing no fear. Will stay in front. Long shot, blocked. There's a glove down on the ice. We'll see who gets it back. It's Max Hartwell. Lost the piece of equipment. Toth. No go on that drive. Gets it right back. We'll see if he tries it again. He has to skate this puck back. Contney's with the stop in front. Might have hit a body. Noltzel lost it there to Bigelow. Jammer turns it up, and this is deflected into the banners.
Look here at the Bulldog bench. Tyler Fife, Gary Astalos, Brennan Wachter over there, and right in the middle of the frame you see that top line of DeJulio, Smith, and Gajewski. Those three guys, that line, all the three components of the line between those three players, they kind of go together like peanut butter, jelly, and bread. I mean, that's how well their games really mesh together. And I think the last, ever since the new year here in 2024, it started with the first matchup against the Andre Lorendo Boomerang. And since then, in games against Western Michigan and now both starts against Dearborn, they've just really stood out. And those are players that are at the top of their lineup regardless of who they're playing with. But altogether, I think sometimes coaches are hesitant to stack your three best players all on the same line or three of your best players. And that's what Coach Astalos has done, and it's really paying dividends. And they're really playing unselfishly. Sometimes you'll see the marquee players on a team, and together they just don't mesh together well. All these guys just really have a knack for finding each other in key areas and, putting the we before the me, I guess, is a good way to say it for that top line for the Bulldogs. Two Michigan natives centered by an Ontario native in the middle, and DeJulio and
some of your top points getters too. Mateo DeJulio with 32 points coming into this game. Gajewski 29 points, now 30. And Sebastian Smith, if we do the math here, I think should be at 24 now with his 2 goals here tonight.
I don't think those stats are even factoring in the 3-goal games that Smith and DeJulio had in their last game, so that gets magnified even more. It's impressive.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to see, too, the Bulldogs there with a big hit in front of the scorer's box. But as I was going to say, the Dearborn players have a couple of guys that have well more points than the top of Adrian. Bailey Bird coming into this game has 49, and getting his goal here should be at 50. The next on the list is Brendan West on 45, and then followed by Joey Cullinan at 42. So interesting to see that I don't believe any of the Bulldog players have hit the 40 or 50 mark. But we haven't heard from really any of those players on the Wolverines side at all tonight, and it just is a testament to how deep this roster is for Adrian College.
Yeah, I'm curious if Brendan West is injured because he didn't play on Tuesday either. And then Bailey Bird, I think, is more of a special teams kind of guru for the Wolverines because he doesn't get a ton of shifts 5-on-5, but on the power play, he's kind of the target man who's setting up on the right side circle for one-timers.
Nonetheless, Bulldogs playing great on both sides of the ice as this is called down for icing.
Really got the privilege to travel with this Bulldog team down to Dearborn on Tuesday night for their game, and it was really a pleasure to be around the team and get to know some of these guys a little bit better and their personalities. And I will say the coaching staff, Doug Raymond, Gary Estalos, Tyler Fife, it's almost like, you know, obviously they know when it's time to be serious and they have a real leadership presence when it comes to this team. As a look out here, Hunter Allen nose to nose with Hartwell. But what I was going to say is they're also just real friends and real mentors to these players as well. And the locker room chemistry is just off the charts in terms of these are guys that enjoy being around each other, not just on the ice, but away from the rink as well. You know, on the weekend, on a Friday night, they enjoy hanging out. So I think we see the result of that on the ice too, and how well this team really meshes together, not only when they're playing, but also relationally, which is super important for a locker room.
This team runs very, very deep, season in and season out. The chemistry always continues to get better. And this is certainly a special team here this year. Had a great effort towards the end of last season, making it to the national championship. An unfortunate 1-0 loss in that final game to Minot State. And these guys certainly are hungry. The coaching staff instills that attitude, as here's a quick shot that's fanned on from Bigelow, the second in the chest from DeContenese. And every team that this Bulldog squad faces off against, you got to do your homework coming into those games because there's so much skill, there's so much strategy, and these boys carry it out night in and night out. Bird wins that face-off through the legs as Hartwell gave it away on his blue line. The Cesare is open at the opposite. Takedown there, Notzel keeps it going. The Cesare, the pickup, looking towards the front. Shot save from Beals as he holds on.
I have to imagine the Wolverines would have been a little bit upset if that shot goes in from the Bulldogs because it looked like Brody Thornton might have tripped up the Wolverine player who was trying to skate it out of their own end, but no issue as Beals is able to make another stop.
Justin Jammer to Notzel. Up top is Thornton. Quick shot goes wide. The Cesare trying to backhand one on. This skitters to the opposite end. Seen a lot of good shifts from Chad Notzel here tonight. Don't always see him as much as we normally do, but he's had a great effort here this game and being awarded with plenty of playing time. So good to see the freshman on the ice. Notzel last season played in the USPHL with the Metro Jets. From support Huron, Michigan, so staying local.
Good look at the mask here for Beals. You know, it's a simple design, but I love the look of the winged helmet that the Michigan football team rocks. Michigan-Dearborn team wearing it as well, and just an iconic design.
Camilla tries to catch this one on one hand down low. It's sent back down. A.J. Bennett gave it away. Oh, and some bad contact there. Hatcher hit hard by his own man in Armstrong, and he's certainly unhappy with that, and rightfully so. Here's Smith. Gets a break on the breakaway. Makes the move. And will we get a penalty shot? Yes! 2:55 remaining in the third period. Sebastian Smith is going to get a chance.
Here's another look. I'm excited to watch this Smith penalty shot because we know he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Yeah, just getting hooked in the hands here, really impossible for him to get any sort of shot off. At that point as a defenseman, though, you're kind of doing whatever you can to shut down Smith.
Smith, with a hat trick the other day, has one goal this game so far. Here's a move, and it does not go. Look to the backhand and is shut down.
If you make a save one-on-one with Sebastian Smith, keep the puck, because that doesn't happen often. Tanner Beals, again, I just want to credit the man because it's a tough situation that he stepped into, facing north of 30 shots, probably around 40 now since he came in to replace Heslop, and I honestly think he stood fairly tall in this game as he will make another stop with the glove.
And Smith, after his shootout attempt there, a little bit of a smile as he headed back towards the bench. 7-1 the score with 2:51 left to go in the third period. Quick shot in front, loose scramble, stays out. McLaughlin with a shot. Save from Beals as he kicks it away. Kept in atop the blue line, and it's caught up in the netting. Could be a souvenir for a fan if they can reach the top part of that glass, and there you see somebody gets it. Congratulations to that lucky fan in the front row.
There's a look at Matteo DiGiulio, stepping into a new role as the captain of this team. Played for St. Michael's and the OJ before coming to Adrian College, native of Maple, Ontario. And you know, you wonder if this is his last year in the Gold or if he's going to come back for his grad year. We've seen a lot of guys do that. Sam Spate and Sheldon Nolan on this year's team. Certainly a guy that Coach Estalos would probably be eager to offer that opportunity to. It's just a matter of whether that's something he wants to continue to pursue. But, man, you talk about top players to watch. He's such an interesting player because he's got a lot of size but really good hands for a big man as well, and somewhat agile, using both the reach to his advantage.
And here's Gajewski with a quick snapper that hits off the dasher and into the netting. And I'll let you finish your thought there, Calvin.
Yeah, you know, whenever Gajewski or Smith is in the high slot with the puck, I just usually want to let you have the floor because there's always a chance that one's going to end up in the back of the net. But, yeah, DiGiulio, just kind of a versatile player. I think as a bigger guy, it's always just impressive. I think Hunter Allen has a similar skill set where they're able to shield the puck but also make quick moves to get around guys, and they're more shifty than their frame would indicate.
Spate tries to make a play along the boards.
Oh, boy. Thornton, Bird's grabbing Thornton's helmet there right by the glass. That's not something you like to see. We're going to see a penalty out of it, I think.
No, I think this puck hit the glove of Cameron Armstrong as he was outstretched over the top of the bench.
Fans taking in the game up top at WOW, one of the best places to watch a hockey game in college hockey.
See equipment manager Johnny Costello getting his jam on up top. Helps out with the men's NCAA team here on campus. Long trip for that team last week when they traveled to Appleton, Wisconsin to face off against Lawrence. What was supposed to be a 6-hour bus ride turned into an 11-hour bus ride with the weather.
Yeah, it's not fun to drive through Chicago on your way to Wisconsin as it is, and then you add whiteout conditions into the mix, and that was a long day, I heard, for that team. But they were able to head out there and get 2 wins, which is the goal always. They host Lake Forest right here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and then Saturday at 3 p.m., I believe, against the Foresters. Women's NCAA team will also be on the road. Men's team for Lake Forest isn't too strong. They're towards the middle of the conference, the NCHA, but for the women's team, they're tied with the Bulldogs for top of the NCHA conference. So the women's NCAA Adrian Bulldogs have a big back-to-back slate in Lake Forest, Illinois this weekend.
Oh, and a hard collision there as the net is knocked off the pegs. 47 seconds left to go in the third period. We'll see what happened here.
Might need a new steal here. Just was turning the corner and lost an edge, and that never feels good. There's a reason why the pegs aren't completely secured, because it's important that net is able to come off if you slide into it like that. I think back in the day, in the early era of the NHL in the 1910s and 20s, I've heard stories of, especially when players back then weren't wearing helmets, I've heard stories of guys breaking their jaws or bones because they would fall into the post at full speed, and the post would not move because I believe they would bolt them into the ice at that time frame. So important now that those things have some give. Sometimes, though, it'll cause frustration as goaltenders will slide around and try to use the post and knock it off. But overall, I think it's a pretty positive thing that those nets have some give and take if you go slide into them at that sort of velocity.
36.9 seconds left to go here in the third period as we start to wrap this one up. See a couple more plays as Nolan sent it in. Beals will play it down to tick off the final couple of seconds that we have here. Little puck battle in the corner. Squirts out and off the outside of the netting. Looked like from a certain angle that it went in. And the icing is called. DeContin's with a joking fake there with the officials. Seemed like they thought he was going to play it, but he did not.
Another one of your teammates, they're just all over the place here, Herm.
Showing up at the rink here tonight. Ryan Hoover and Joe Plaster.
I don't think they realize they're on camera. There we go, now they see it. It's always the best to see the fans in the arena who don't realize that the whole stadium's watching them, and then they see it, and you got a little chuckle out of Plaster and Hoover there. Tell us, take a moment to plug what your team has coming up this weekend, the ACHA D2 squad.
Yeah, my team and I heading out to Illinois to face Illinois State University. We have a nice little road trip and an overnight, so 2 games out west. Central Time should be a fun one. As this puck has dropped, 10 seconds to go. Notel cannot keep it in off the blue. Beals will play it down. Final seconds. And this one is over. 7-1 the final for the Adrian College Bulldogs as they skate away with the W and the sweep over rival Michigan-Dearborn.
Nice look at the Bulldogs congratulating one another. It's another Bulldog victory. 8-2 and 7-1 the scores. First on the road at the UMD Fieldhouse and now on their home ice. They get wins, and good look there at Jordan Camilla, Nash Hatcher, Brody Thornton. As one of the best traditions in hockey, regardless of how the game went, you battle against your opponents for 60 minutes, but then it's time to show some respect and, thank your teammates for the chance to face them today. And, just a hard-fought game from both teams. A little bit of a skill discrepancy, but I thought Dearborn battled hard and gave the Bulldogs all they could today.
A full 60-minute effort for the boys in the yellow, black, and white. 7-1 the final score, 48-17 the shots. Another win for goaltender Noah DeContenys, as this one will be his 14th of the season, improving to 14-2-0 on the year. Will certainly help out his stats even further. And this one was a pleasure to have alongside Calvin Keys, Alex Herman, signing off for this evening. You've been watching Bulldog Hockey on ACTV.
to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today.